All right, we're live. All right, Shalom.
Shalom.
All right.
First and foremost, before we get started, we give all glory and honor to
Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Ruka Kadash.
double honors to the apostles and the elders at Great Millstone who teach and rule well. Peace and salutations to elect at their feet in the sheep of Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, pushing this 100% truth with sincerity and charity. I'm the brother Barak, and I'm here with the brother Selah.
Shalom.
And I'm gonna just remove this real quick. I'm still live. Just adjusting the image. Yeah. So we're gonna be doing this lesson about angels, man, because the angels will encampeth around wherever we are, right? We can't see these. A lot of the time, we can't see these things with the naked eye, right? But they're actually around us, right? And as you can see, this is the first example we have. And before I begin, can you bring up the angels precept?
Yes, sir. This is the book of Psalms, chapter 34, verse 7. And it says here, the angel of the Lord, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, encampeth round about them that fear him and delivereth them. Right. So the angels, man, wherever the brothers are, teaching and preaching, man, they have this invisible barrier, protecting brothers from all manner of spiritual warfare, man. And, from all demons, that might jump on brothers, or that might attack brothers, man. Example, right, is at the DC camp, right, one of the elder brothers, they said that they had ICE, right, or these ICE agents from the National Guard, right. Actually, no, it was ICE, lock you, but it was ICE, right. And these ICE agents, they actually took away some of the northern kingdom that was near them, but they never bothered the actual camp, man. And that goes to show you, man, the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, man. Yeah. Protecting the brothers, right? Because ICE, it could have snatched up one of the brothers at any given moment, right, for any reason.
Yeah, and hold on, let me just adjust this real quick. I'm still here. I'm just gonna adjust the image. So, all right, yeah, and that's the thing. The Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, like He can put a spirit on somebody to not bother you, right? Let's just say you're doing camp and a police officer drives by, right? They'll look right at you and just drive off or something. They won't even bother asking you what you're doing, right?
Or just wave high.
Yeah, they'll just wave high, right? Because while everybody else, they might be looking at you a certain way, whatever. You know what I'm saying? They might be asking you what you're doing, but ultimately, at the end of the day, man, or someone might get mad at you, right? Because you had those people, they tried calling the cops on the elder Menatazakba, right? From the GMS South Carolina, right? And there was this one devil, he tried to call the cops, and the cops ended up saying, well, it was they're not doing anything wrong, right? They didn't even have a problem. I'm pretty sure it was that one, right?
And if I want to bring out, that takes you to the book of Proverbs, chapter 16, verse 7, right? And it says here, when a man's ways please the Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, he maketh even his enemies to be at peace with him, right? So even these policemen, man, like an enemy or two, third, call the cops on you, but the cops will be like, they're not doing anything illegal, they're exercising their First Amendment, right? Which was what the Lord ordained, for this truth to be pushed out. That was the whole purpose of the First Amendment, right? Right, is to spread the gospel of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai.
Yeah, and the Lord, He's the one who was the scripture said, "Man's going of the Lord," right? But the angels all around us, and so the angels might work through certain people, right? And that's why there's the scripture in the Hebrews, right? Be not, you can bring that out. Yeah. Entertain strangers. Hebrews 13:2.
Yeah, it says here, be not forgetful to entertain strangers, for thereby some have entertained angels unawares, right?
Right. Yeah, so you have angels that might pass by you, you don't even know. You got something?
No.
Yeah, so you have these, and the thing is so we have some examples, right? The first example, someone just pull up real quick. So I'm gonna bring up this one actually. So the first example was basically one of the brothers was recording a video, and he looked back at the video, and he he was able to see a angel in the bus, right? After he basically cleared up the image. And then the second one, which is this was a few years ago, right? That one, this one right here. It was can't remember which camp that was. Um, but an angel appeared right behind some of the brothers while they were doing camp, right? And that attire that that angel was wearing, you can just tell that was not from this like time period, right? And and basically that angel was basically behind them. I believe he was basically almost like nodding his head, and then he just disappeared right after, right?
Yeah, he waved his hand and disappeared.
And you see that a lot of these angels, they have the characteristics of like basically the Israelites right back then, right, where they have how like the full like woolly hair, right, the beard, right, um and the next example we have, and this is just like this example is just crazy, right? It's just this one is at the Redskins. You can zoom out. Yeah, so Redskins versus Cowboys game. I'm gonna pull that up right here. 1 second. Right, so you have that other image from that video. I don't know. Yeah.
Oh, which one? The one from the
It was
bus?
from this video, but it was
It was a lot more clear.
yeah, it was a lot more clear, right? It was basically like a
Oh, I can go right here. Right here.
What's clear?
Yeah, to the brother's YouTube channel.
Let me take a picture of that.
Yeah. Let me screenshot it. Yeah.
Hold on,
Salakia.
let me get this picture real quick.
Yeah, I'll screenshot and I'll post it in the chat so you can see it.
All right, hold on. I'm gonna upload this to my
Yes, it's right here in the chat, but
I got it. You got it?
yeah, it's right here, and this is from the from GMS Get This Works. It's called the presence of the Lord's angels are among us, right? And this is the inspiration of the lesson, right?
Yeah, so that's from Brother GMS Get This Work, his channel, and as you can see, this is a closer look. But that's they found an angel at the Dallas the Redskins game, right? I'm not too familiar with football teams, but the Redskins game, right? And that one is that's crazy because that's basically like almost like a floating head, almost like you don't see anything else, but you just see the white hair. I've never ever seen in my life, man. Somebody like it's very rare to see somebody with that type of like phenotype of hair color, and with that clear of a camera. You know what I'm saying? That's how you know that's an angel right there, man. You know what I'm saying? And that's also terrifying because that just shows the Lord. He's watching, man. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, and then
The scripture says, man, the Lord's eyes are 10,000 times brighter than the sun, man.
Yeah.
Beholding both the good and evil.
yeah, that's a terrifying angel, man. Because that just shows, man. These angels are watching, man. And the thing is, what I was gonna say is, certain brothers have the like ability, like the gifts to actually spot these things, while other brothers they might not be able to see them, right? Because there's no such thing as a coincidence, man. When you know what I'm saying, when a brother might go through a 2 hour long video or 2 hour long football game, whatever length it is, and they find it right at that exact frame, right? That there's certain brothers have certain gifts to see these things, right? Yeah. So you got that?
Yeah, if I could just read,
Yeah. So we're bringing out Ecclesiasticus 23:19. It says, "Such a man only feareth the eyes of men, and knoweth not that the eyes of the Lord are 10,000 times brighter than the sun, beholding all the ways of men and considering the most secret parts." Right? And yeah, that's terrifying, man. Because the Lord, that really shows you have to fear the Lord, because the Lord, He literally sees everything, man. There's no running away from the Lord, man. And when you see these things like this, right, these angel sightings, it shows that we're getting closer to the end, right?
And another thing I like to add about that, right? You know, when it says like just beholding all the secret places, like Esau really thinks he could hide his counsel, but what's the Lord doing right now, man? He's exposing his wickedness, man. They're being mocked and shamed for what they're doing, man. You know, and that's just, and it says so in the book of I believe Habakkuk 2 and 3. You know, shameful spewing. Let's get that for a second. Shame. Yeah. This is the book of Habakkuk, chapter 2, verse 16, right? And it says here, thou art filled with shame for glory. Drink thou also, and let thy foreskin be uncovered, right? You Edomites, you so-called white people, right? Right. The cup of the Lord, Yahweh Bashim Yahushai's right hand shall be turned unto thee, and shameful spewing shall be on thy glory, right? So these angels, man, aside from what they're releasing on the Epstein files, man, these angels they see what the fuck you're doing in the dark, man, and they're reporting it directly to the Lord, man.
And the thing is, Esau, he basically covered the face of the judges thereof, right? He tries to cover the faces of, who the Israelites, actually, what we actually look like, right? What Yahweh Shai look like, right? And, he can do all he wants, but all it takes for the angels just to appear, to show themselves, right? These are basically signs.
Even the depiction of the angels, he made into like little babies.
Yeah, or white women or white people.
All white people.
Oh yeah, you had that one statue of your somebody back in
Yeah. You know what? Let's show them that statue. This shit really pissed me off. Esau, this is what the fuck that you gotta pay for, man. If I just go,
let me pull up.
if I just go on my camera roll, I think I showed it to you, Walk, but let me see if I can just go on my camera roll. I took a picture of it, man. This shit really pissed me off. If I could just find it. Salaki, I did send it to you, but it's been a while.
I can find it real quick. Wait, I'll find it real quick. I'm not. Let's see.
Hold on, it was somewhere in my camera roll. If I could just freaking find it, man. It was. Let's see, where the hell was it? It was. Bear with us a few moments. Let's see where.
Type in the location, maybe.
No, I found it.
Okay, let me take a picture of that real quick.
Yeah, man, and look closely at this. This is at a customer's place, man.
I'm have to add the audio, so it's not picking up anything yet.
Yeah, but if you look right here, man, they depicted Michael the archangel, man, as a so-called Edomite, and look how they depicted the fucking devil, man.
Yeah, so as you can see in the picture, they show Michael the archangel, so-called, right, as a white Edomite, and then they put basically like a black, what basically was basically like a black person, right? Which they say it's the devil, but you know how these devils are, right? Like they're really just slick, right?
Yeah,
they put a so-called black person on there, but really it's Esau basically. What he's trying to put himself everywhere, trying to make himself seem like he's basically the best, right?
Yeah, and this takes us to First Maccabees, right? Where it says and the heathen sought to paint the likeness of their image. Let's see, sought to paint. Yeah, right here, First Maccabees chapter 3, verse 48. It says here, and laid open the book of the law, where the heathen sought to paint the likeness of their image, right? Man, so you see these motherfuckers out here, right? right? Committing iconoclasm, breaking the nose off statues, man. Like the Sphinx. Although we know Sphinx were Hamites, but regardless, man, they're changing the dark images, man, and whitewashing them, man. Making them pale, right? Right, when it was really melanated people, right? Jake or other dark skinned heathens that were ruling that lands, right? Because what did Esau do? He came in and took over those lands.
Yeah, so what this devil does, he tries to basically, make everything like his, right? That goes not just, he tries to basically what? He tries to steal land, but then he also tries to steal the relics, the statues, you know, anything he can get his hands on, and just change it to make it represent, him, right? Because ultimately, these devils are salty that their birthright was, it's basically stolen, man. But basically, well, technically he lost his birthright. You know what I'm saying? And he's basically he has a hatred towards us.
Yeah, correction. His birthright was
not stolen,
it was never stolen. Yeah. He handed away, and he's salty because he handed away his birthright, man.
Yeah.
It was all ordained by Yahweh Bashim Yashai. Do not get it twisted.
Yeah.
Right, and that goes in that perpetual hatred, man. Let's get that. Yeah, this is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 3, verse 5, and it says here, because thou hast had a perpetual hatred, and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword in the time of their calamity, in the time their iniquity had an end, right? Therefore, as I live, saith the Lord Yahweh Bashim Yahshai, I will prepare thee unto blood, and blood shall pursue thee. Since thou hast not hated blood, even blood shall pursue thee. So that's what the fuck's coming to you, devils, man. You see those angels, man. They just getting ready to pounce on you, man. Once Yahweh returns. And the verse 7, thus will I make Mount Seir most desolate, and cut off from him that passeth out, and him that returneth. And I will fill his mountains with the slain men, and in thy hills and in thy valleys and in all thy rivers shall they fall that are slain with the sword. And I will make thee perpetual desolations, and thy city shall not return. And ye shall know that I am the Lord Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai, man.
Yeah, so ultimately the Lord, right, he's gonna send his by his chariots or his angels, right, and we're gonna basically fuck these people up, these devils, right?
I got a precept in the book of Hebrews 1:14. Therefore, angels are only servants, spirits sent to care for people who will inherit salvation. So these angels are protecting those that are of the elect. And salvation being beamed up in those chariots. Those angels are going to be, there, assisting us through that.
Yeah, that's what salvation is. Basically, getting a new spiritual body, right? Being delivered out of the flesh, being delivered out of Babylon, right? And that's going back to the angels encampeth around us, right? Because and you can bring out the book of King Elisha. There's more with us than them, right? Because we can't even see a lot of these things. Some of these angels, right? We can see with our naked eye, but these other angels, right? There's many things we cannot see with our actual naked eye, right?
Yeah, it's right here, 2 Kings chapter 6, starting at verse 16, right? And it says here, and he answered, fear not, for they that be with us are more than they that with them. And Elisha prayed and said, Lord Yahweh Yahshua, I pray thee, open his eyes, that he may see. And the Lord Yahweh Yahshua opened his eyes of the young man, and he saw, and behold, the mountain was full of horses and chariots and fire round about Elisha. Or Elisha, and when they came down to him, Elisha prayed unto the Lord and said, smite this people, I pray thee, with blindness, and he smote them with blindness according to the word of Elisha. So so that goes it goes to show you the power of the Lord Yahweh Bashim Yahshua. You might think you'd be by yourself, right? But if the Lord be with you, man, who could be against you? Really?
The book of Romans.
Yeah, that's right, man. So if you pray and you believe, man, and you do everything correctly, you know that the Lord loves, man. The Lord's He's gonna be with you, man. And that's what we pray, man, in these latter days, that the Lord Yahweh Bashim Yahshua be with us during these perilous times, because that's the only way that we're gonna make it out of this hellhole, man. No matter where we're at. especially Babylon the Great.
This is the book of Romans 8:31. What shall we then say to these things? If Yahweh be for us, who can be against us? So, you got the Lord on your side, Yahweh Shai, the one that created everything. So that's all that really matters. The Lord's something with you.
Yeah, the water. That was beautiful.
And it's through the Lord that salvation is predestined. That's something to think about, That the way we're gonna make out of this place is through the Lord being pleased with us.
Yeah, and that's the ones doing the will of the Lord Yahweh Shai, man. Which is what we're repenting, praying, fasting. When you need to, studying. Watching brothers' videos or doing lessons if you have the unction to do so.
And eventually the Lord, right now we can do that, but the Lord's gonna put it on our spirit eventually to stop teaching this word, right? Because what did the Lord say? Ezekiel, he said, "I shall cause your tongue to cleave to the roof of your mouth," right? I mean, if you try speaking with your tongue stuck to the roof of your mouth, right? You can barely say anything, right? So eventually, I call
Y'all Bashim Yal Shai 144.
Eventually, we're basically gonna, stop teaching this word, right? There's gonna be a time, where basically, the Lord's just gonna put on our spirit not to teach anymore, right? So, you make sure you continue to watch and pray, listen, right? Continue to feed the sheep of Yahweh Shai, right? And continue to, edify and and endure to the end, right?
And if we can close off on Isaiah chapter 41 verse 10, it says here, fear thou not, for I am with thee. Be not dismayed, for I am thy God. I will strengthen thee, I will help thee. I will uphold thee with the right hand of my righteousness, man. So if we do everything, pleasing in the sight of Yahweh Bashim Yahshai, he will help and deliver us in these times, man. And that is the only way out, man. Not no gun, not no sword, not your gas, not your car, none of these carnal things, man. Only the Lord Yahweh Bashim Yahushai is going to save you.
That's the end all be all.
That's right. So unless you brothers do you have anything else, brothers? All right. So with that, we're going to end off this lesson right here. Hope this lesson has been uplifting and edifying you, sincere Akim and Akwath. And with that, we have to say, Call Halayim La, Abanawa, Yahweh, Bashim, Yahushai, Bashim, Kadash. The honor and respect to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone, who rule well and taught us his truth. We'd also like to say much love, peace, and salutations to the Lord's elect, the hopeful elect in 1/3. This is your brother Salah.
Brother Barak.
What's up?
And with that, we just say Shalom.